Welcome back to the channel, man. This is the first time y'all see me without the beard, man. But yeah, braids is out, film is done. So we're back to regular scheduled programming. Um, but I wanted to talk to you all because I was on the phone with one of my friends the other day, and he's really upset with his life, how it's going. He's unhappy with his partner. He's unhappy with his living situation, his family. All these different things are going on in his life, and he kept on talking to me, asking me what does he think he should do. And I wanted to be very transparent about people's circumstances and living situations because I feel like a lot of times when people say what I'm about to say, um, they don't take into account people's circumstances and how hard it is to change or change your mindset when it comes to the circumstances that you're under. But he asked me, what is asked me, he was like, what do you think is the right thing to do? Do you think I should leave from this situation, or do you think I should stay and try to work it out? And I answered, I said, I have no clue. I said, do whatever. And this is very cliche, like I was about to say, do whatever feels right and makes you happy, not in the moment, but for a lifetime. Meaning that don't make a brash decision for that particular moment, but make a decision that would benefit the person from 5 years. What would the person 5 years, or you 5 years from now, say thank you for doing? If 5 years from now you're the person, you would look back and say thank you for leaving that situation, then you should leave that situation. If you can look that far, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you as a person would say, man, you should have worked it out. That was a good person to be with. That was a kind person. That was a resilient person. We might have had our differences, but we probably could have worked it out. If you have a hesitancy about those thoughts, you should probably try to work it out. Um, but the point of this video is not that. The point of this video is um, I was, again, I came off a set, and I kept on having these really big moments of inspiration. They just kept on popping up to me. I've been living in Los Angeles now for about 4 or 5 months, and I keep on having these signs and these pockets of the universe telling me that I'm on the right path, or I'm on the right um, um, path of as far as the things that I'm trying to do in this life. 1 second, I'm about to plug in this. I'm living in this life right now, and I keep on having these pockets of inspiration that keep on coming to me and telling me that I'm on the right path in this life. And one of the things that kept on popping up in my head, and I'm not going to disclose who this person is because I'm gonna tell a story in a minute. But I had this premonition of, if you aren't chasing your dreams, if you aren't chasing your dreams, you're actively dying. You're actively dying. What do I mean by that? Chasing and let me say this: chasing your dreams doesn't mean to be some grand scheme of becoming the biggest whatever in the world. I said this in the other video. I feel like a lot of people overlook the common human being. Chasing your dream does not have to mean reaching the heights of some wealth. That's not what chasing your dreams could be as simple as being a wonderful mother, being a wonderful father, showing up for my kids, um, um, overcoming trauma. You understand what I'm saying? It could be overcoming trauma. It could be overcoming systemic problems that I have. It could be immigrating to a new country. It could be removing myself from toxic situations. It could be becoming a great actor, or a great director, or a great painter, or whatever. It can be all these different things. It doesn't have to be something that is in the boxes of capitalism, which is what we also always often think about in the frameworks when we think of dreams. Dreams don't have to be in the framework of capitalism. Are you following me? So this is what I mean. If you aren't chasing your dreams, you're actively dying. Um, 6 months ago, I was working as a software engineer in Nashville, Tennessee. I was making 6 figures a year. Um, I was trying. I was also in a Soul House mentorship program. I was doing a lot of things. I was doing theater. I was acting, but I always knew that I felt like I was a big fish in a small pond. I felt like the things that I was able to accomplish there would only be the things that I would be able to accomplish there, if that makes sense. I didn't feel like the things that I was doing would translate anywhere or go anywhere or take me anywhere. They were just things that were fulfilling to me. They weren't things that I could make a career out of, or they weren't things that, even projects that I would necessarily I was proud of. And again, if this video comes back in years from now, there was I had some great projects that I did. I had some films that I loved. I had some plays that I loved. But the majority of the things I did, they won't take me anywhere. They won't go anywhere, and that's okay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's the truth of it. Um, and so I was constantly getting this feeling that I needed to be in a bigger pond. I need to be in a position where, um, so to speak, my back is against the wall. I always work really well with my back against the wall. I need to be in a space like that where I felt like I was not the person driving, but somebody else was driving, and then I needed to get to the cockpit and figure out how to fly the plane as well, if that makes sense. So I had this idea that I kept on going back and forth about in my head of moving to Los Angeles. Now, moving to Los Angeles would not be an easy feat. I have a child. Um, I had a 6-figure job. I had comfortability. I just got into this great program that helps the creative futures of these different talented people in the city. I had a great apartment. I had a car. All these different things. All these things tie me down to this place. I was close to family. I was in Nashville. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, so I wasn't far from home. I could go see my friends. But I knew this couldn't be it. And so I felt like I was actively dying. I wasn't living. I was actively dying, meaning that the days were passing me by. I was awake. I was here, but they weren't being used for anything. They were being, they were just there. They weren't days that meant anything to me. Have you ever had the feeling where you feel like your memory is bad? You can't remember a lot of things. You don't feel like you have that many accomplishments. You don't feel like you have that many things that have happened to you that are memorable. I felt like that. Whereas now I feel like I can point to so many different things. I can recount stories of this journey that I've had verbatim. I could tell a story from beginning to finish, and it makes sense, and it's coherent, and they're great stories. Whereas when I was in Nashville or Memphis per se, all the stories that I could recount verbatim were all just stories about women. Me having sex with this girl, me doing this with that girl, me having a threesome, me, you know what I'm saying? They weren't stories that meant something to me. Um, and so I felt like I was actively dying. I wasn't living. I was actively in a state of pushing myself to the grave. So I want to tell a story about my father. My father is a very complicated human being. He wasn't the most compassionate human being, but there's one thing that was very commendable about him that I hold to this day that I think about often. My father was the only person in this world that I've ever met that I can say actually loved something. My father was a musician. He played piano, and he played trumpet. He was a jazz musician. He was known around the city in Memphis, Tennessee. He had a procession on his death down Bill Street. He led the procession when Rudy, a very, very famous musician, died in Memphis. I think he led the procession when B.B. King died as well. He played the Peabody for 30 years or more, something like that, something crazy, 30, 35 years. If you ever went to the Peabody in Memphis, Tennessee up until 2019 and you saw a black man playing the piano with all sorts of passion, that was my dad. And what my dad taught me is that if you truly love something, there'll never be anything that stops you from doing that thing. If you really have a dream, if you really have something that you really care about and you hold in your heart, there's nothing. There is no person, there's no significant other, there's no wife, there's no child, there's no grandmother, there's no mom, father. There's nothing that can stop you from pursuing that. Um, Otherwise, you're just going to have an unfulfilled, erratic life that pushes you every single which way because you're not on the right path. You're not on the path that the universe has set out for you. And so my father was the only person I can ever say that truly, 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 truly loved something. On my father's deathbed, he had a mouthpiece, the trumpet mouthpiece. He played that with his last breaths. From the moment that man woke up in the morning, from the moment he went to sleep at night, he was playing some type of instrument, bar none. You would not either he had the mouthpiece, either he was playing everything. His life was surrounded by music, playing music in some type of way. Um, and so what I'm saying is that that was a dream. He was chasing his dream. He died at 60, but he had a life that was longer than most people. And if you understand what I'm saying, is that you can die at 40, but if you would spent those 40 years, or let's say your adult life, let's say 20 years of those 40 years, you're an adult. If you spent those 20 years of your adult life actively pursuing the thing that you love, the dreams that you care about, you've won. You've lived. You don't have to have 80 years. You don't have to have 100. You don't even have to have 20. You can have 10. But it's all about how you're spending that time. Um, and so when I was in Nashville, I the, you feel this urge and this pain in your chest, and it doesn't happen constantly. It's rolling. It could be you leaving work and you're just like, what am I doing? It could be like I said, I have my daughter. I have her half of the week every single week. Like I'm dropping off my daughter. I'm like, I don't even want my daughter to grow up here. Not no offense to Nashville. I love Nashville. There's nothing wrong with Nashville. Nashville's a beautiful place. There's so many cool people I met there. Awesome people. It's what I wanted out of my career. I was like, this is not what I want. I want I don't want to say more because it'll sound like I'm trying to put Nashville down in a way. I'm not. I love Nashville. But in there's a reason why Los Angeles and New York are meccas or of entertainment and culture. It's because people go there to get the work done, to go to have a career. And so yeah, I was in this perpetual state of feeling like I can make something happen. I felt like I was in a point in my career where it made sense to do it. And I feel like I was at the skill level where it was like, this makes sense. And I have a resume that aligns that I could get more work. And so I talked to my child's mother. We're not together about it. And luckily for me, she's from Los Angeles. She's from South Central. She's from Hyde Park. And so even before I had brought it, this is how the universe works. It's very serendipitous. This is how the universe works. Before I could even bring it up to her, she texted me. She was like, hey, I want to move back home to Los Angeles. My mom is getting sick and I want to be there for her. This is before I even said a word to her. And I was I was going to bring it up to her like that week. And so that seamless of a transition, we all got our stuff and she moved first. In in May. My daughter went to my mom's house in Memphis for the summer. I got my stuff together and I got out of there in August. My daughter started school in August. We flew in together. September 1st is when we flew in, got here, and we started our life in Los Angeles. And so I had this moment, and I'm not gonna say who this person is, but I had this moment. I was in Soho House, right? Maybe one day, if God willing, things happen in my career that caused me to move forward. I can tell this story in a different way. But I was in Soul House and I met this person that I do admire. I admire his work. Very famous actor, extremely famous actor, black actor at that. I mean, I admire his work. I admire his work ethic. I admire his style. if I could have a career like somebody, it would be kind of like his. Um, and I don't say that because I don't like most, I don't care about most people. I don't like most people. I don't like most people's work and I don't like most people's style. So saying that for me is very big because there's not many people. It's like him. I love ASAP Rocky's style, ASAP Mom in general. ASAP Nas was like my style icon when I was a kid. Um, ASAP Nas, ASAP Rocky, him, who I'm not going to say his name, and that's probably about it. And I wouldn't say those other two is like I look up to them as personally as human beings or their actual work. I just look up to them as style icons. This person whose work precedes them, I really respect their work. And I saw him in Soul House. I was coming from the gym. And again, I'm not going to tell the full story, but we had a beautiful conversation. We exchanged information with each other. We had this good conversation through text, and he was very encouraging and telling me I was in the right space. He thought I had a really good look, and he really believed in me. We still have each other's information to this day. But point being, the universe will send you signs when you're on the correct path. The universe will send you signals and give you gold when you push yourself towards the life that you've always been supposed to live. Like it'll do that for you. There's a creative force. And I'm like I've said in one of the previous videos, I'm not a religious person. I would say I'm spiritual, meaning that I believe in the universe. I do believe that the universe is conspiring on our behalf and working in our favor. And there is good energy and there is bad energy. And I do think if you permeate that good energy, good things will happen to you. I do believe in yin and yang. These are things that I do believe in. And I feel like the universe does have a creative juice and energy and force. And when you decide to move forward with the creative gifts that you've been given, again, I really want to punch this down when I say that when people think of dreams, they always think of the biggest thing in the world. Your dream could be reading a book this year. Your dream could be reaching out to a loved one or family member and saying that you miss them. Your dream could be being closer to whatever God that you feel is along the path of the life that you want to live. Your dream could be traveling to another state. I have a lot of friends that are from Memphis have never left the state. Their dream could be going across state lines. It doesn't matter what your dream is. The point is that if you're not actively pursuing that dream, you're actively dying. And what I think a lot of times happens is when you have these dreams, you hold on to these dreams and you don't want to let them go. And so you'll just think about them and sit on them and have this analysis paralysis of these dreams and not pursue them. These dreams will leave you. The thing that happens when you have dreams and you pursue the dreams, when you accomplish this dream, the universe will send you another one. You'll never run out. You'll never run out of ideas. You'll never run out of creativity. You'll never run out of the things that you need to have a fulfilling life. But you will run out of time. That's the big thing. You'll run out of time. That's the scariest thing is wasting this time, this finite thing that we have. Not the dreams. The dreams will come and go. You might pivot on a dream. Today I might have this dream and tomorrow I might have the dream of laying in my fucking bed all day. That could be my dream. To lay in the bed and have nobody bother me. And when I accomplish that dream, I'll move on to the next one. But I wanted to make this video to say that whatever dream you may have, whatever life that you want to live, whatever construct you want to pursue, whatever framework you decide you want to build, you can do it. You can do it. If you aren't going towards that thing, you're killing yourself, man. I was killing myself in the South, in Nashville. I was, because I wasn't allowing myself to be me. Do you understand? I wasn't allowing Johnny Johnny, to be who he has always dreamt of being. That was death. That's worse than any corporate job you can have. That's worse than any blue collar job that you can have. I have less money that I have had in my 20s. That's not true. Since I've been 22, 23, I'm 27 now. This is the least amount of money I've been making since I've been 22. I made six figures basically my whole 20s. I'm not making that right now. I will. I I do not want to go back and make six figures in that way again. I don't. I don't. And that sounds crazy to some people. You have. I'll tell people that, and they're like, "You have the skill that you built up for years. Why don't you want to use it?" Because when I'm doing that thing, I'm taking away the life force of the thing that I've actually feel like I'm here to do. I feel like I'm aging myself. I'm killing myself when I do that. So I'd rather do something that will not take that life force away from me, where I can give it all to the thing that I want to do. Like, I love this doing these videos right now. I can do that because I have the mental capacity and the space to do that. Whereas if I go back to the thing that I was doing that was making me that money and being a cog in the machine, I'm taking away all the energy and the force and the patience that I give myself now back to the thing that was killing me. And that would be the worst thing to do for me. And that's not to say I might go get another job. But the point is that you need to be going after that dream. As it could be the smallest thing, it can be the biggest thing, it can be baby steps, it can be giant leaps, but go after it in some way. That could be loving your mother more, that could be loving your father more, your sister, your brother, your cousin. That could be giving your child a hug. It could be saying I love you to your child. It could be reading a book. It could be deconstructing your mind, where you're not thinking about these constructs that have been built up by capitalism in pursuit of capital. It could be breaking that down. It could be destroying the constructs that have been built that made you a bad human being to women. It could be all these. That could be. It doesn't matter what your dream is. The point is that you should go after it. And that's the point of the video. I'll see y'all in the next one.